Michael Miller, special guest, a very special guest, is Dr. Rudy. Pronounce that last name again?
Moise.
Moise, all right? And I'm looking at your resume, and a lot of people don't know this. I knew you were a lawyer. I knew you were a physician as well for many, many, many years. But you are a retired Air Force flight surgeon, and you reached the rank of colonel. That's a big deal. How did you do that? I mean, you're only 39, all right? One of the things that I've seen over the years that you care a lot about the people that you take care of. For years, I would read about you, and I said, one day I'm going to meet that guy. I didn't know how long it would take. But so tell us about your involvement in the community and why.
Well, first of all, I immigrated from Haiti 55 years ago. When I came in, I came with little, but a strong determination to build a better future. So I had to learn the language. I stayed focused, and then decided to go to school and became a physician. And then I kept going. Got the master's in business administration, and then kept going. Went to law school, and then opened up healthcare businesses. Became successful, and I said, "What? This country has been so good to me. How can I give back?" So I've been serving this community for a while, and I decided to join the Air Force as a reservist, and then give back to this great country.
So, with all that service, at some point you decided, I want to be in politics. Tell us about when that surfaced in you.
Barack Obama and we were at the reception in 2008 in Miami Shores. At that time, he was running for president. He was a state senator from Illinois. And after he spoke, I came up to him and introduced myself. And I said, "Mr. Obama, one day I would love to serve in public office." And he put his hand on my shoulder and looked at me with his dark brown eyes and said, "You should." So I remember that. And I said, one day, at the right time.
Was that 2006, 7?
2008. So, and I've been preparing myself, over these years. And now I believe this is the right time. And every time I think about it, I remember Obama said, "You should." And he became president twice.
That's not quite 20 years, but it was a long time ago.
Yes, it was.
And your moment came when what occurred in the South Florida landscape as far as political.
Yes.
And so you run for Congress, District 24. Tell us where that district is.
This district is a very, very large district. It starts in Hollywood and goes all the way down by Jackson Hospital, north to south, and then from east to west, from Legion Road to Biscayne Bay. So it's very different from the 24 that was there when Congresswoman Frederica Wilson was. There's about another 150,000 more people in that district. So it's very, very diversified. There's about 37% African American mixed with Haitians and stuff like that. About 35% Hispanics, 15% Anglo, and then with some other mix there. So it's a very, very well diverse district, speaking all the languages. And I'm very blessed to be able to speak all 4 languages: French, English, French, Haitian Creole, and Hispanic, and Hispanic as well. I had to learn it because when I came here to Miami, a lot of my patients were Hispanic. So, and I had difficulty communicating with them. So I had to have my little book, my little notes, to do this. And over the years, I picked it up, and I had a lot of Hispanic friends as well. So now I pick it up, and now it became handy. Now I can communicate directly, with the people. So
I'd be amiss if we didn't talk about TPS and nations. What does it mean, and what is going to happen?
This is the decision that the Supreme Court did is very devastating. When you have over 300,000 individuals, and not only Haitians, but also Syrians and others as well, been there for this country for a long time. And I know it says temporary, okay, but Congress have not acted during all this time to create a path, for legal residency and eventually citizenship for all these people. So these people have been there for 15, 20 years, and because situation in the country is not suitable for them to come and work because of the danger, violence, gangs, political instability. So, and now they decided that the program must shut down, despite the fact that these individuals work very, very hard. They support their family. They pay taxes. They raise their family. And I tell you, a lot of the service industries, they use them in the healthcare industry. I mean, a lot of them serve the nursing home. Or,
Again, let's talk about that. I was over at Jackson, at the University of Miami Medical Center near Jackson. I was stunned to see how many nurses there were on the floor that were of Haitian descent. A massive amount. So as a community,
yes,
what are we going to do, especially in the healthcare industry? These hospitals must be cringing right now. They're going to, oh my, what are we going to do to take care of that patient load? All of a sudden, if they're gone, it's going to be, it goes back to all of us. When it
yes.
Does. But how many, in Miami, how many Haitian Americans are here on TPS, more or less? What's the number?
I cannot give you exact number. I know total about 250,000. Nationwide, actually affected by this. In Miami, I would say, but the bulk of it in Miami, New York, Boston, those are high concentration of Haitians. And I could get back with you and give you the proper number, but there are a lot of them, and not only the hospitals, but you have them in the nursing homes and treatment centers. And I tell you, a lot of the larger like Amazon, a lot of the larger companies, they also use them a lot as well.
When I was a little kid, maybe 5th, 6th grade, when Cubans would start coming over and say, Daddy, how come these people come over here and in 2 years it looks like they own banks? How did they do that? He said to me, son, when people come to the United States, they come here because they're built a certain way and they want a better thing. Not like, and then I think it was pointing to me, not like other ones that are born into having a silver spoon in their mouth. I think he was talking about me, but I'm not sure, which wasn't accurate, but I got the message. And so I see that with the Haitians every day, changing neighborhoods and making them great and working. And we know a neighborhood that might have been terrible, you know what, get about 20% Haitian Americans in there, guess what? It's going up. It's just the way it is. And when years ago, when I would see you in some of the magazines, maybe it was the Herald, or I'd see people interviewing you, I said, who is that guy over there? And you really did a significant job in helping a lot of people and being out there. And that certainly is important. So when these little kids are looking at you and say, if he can do it, I can. Sometimes they ever come up to you and they said, how do you do that?
Yes. And I share a story with them to let them know that all my drive did not start from privilege. Growing up, my classmates used to bully me and then told me that I would never become anything. Why? Because my parents did not have too much money. So when I used to go to school, I used to wear the same clothes several times during the week, while others, they had more. So that pain stayed with me for a very, very long time. But over time, it changed into fuel, and make me work harder, reach higher, and also to something interesting to let me know not to overlook people who are under privilege, and also people who need help. So that's why, I feel the way that I feel and giving back as much as I do.
And when you see this, typically it can go, your energy can perhaps get to the grandchildren, and then it starts again after that, which is, you're going to have to walk to school like I did. You're going to have to wear those clothes 3 days a week like I did. So you got to start over.
Exactly.
And when I see or hear people that are setting examples for themselves and their family, it's very inspirational to me. By the way, one of my most inspired moments when Barack Obama was in Chicago and said, change is coming to America. I still get goosebumps when I was thinking about that. And a couple years before, a friend of mine whose son was working for the campaign, they said, you need to pay attention to this guy. He is a a junior senator from Chicago with almost no experience. Oh, America's going to elect a black guy? Are you kidding me? And so when you see that change that has happened, I'm so saddened by what is occurring now. And maybe maybe somebody's going to do something. I don't know who the somebody is. But let's talk about the things that your constituents in the areas that what is it that they want, and what is it you think that you can get done?
This district has a lot of needs. But I would maybe mention maybe 2 or 3 of them. And you mentioned TPS. TPS is absolutely something that I will vote to extend, but not only extend it, but also to find a way. And I believe that Congressman Frederick Wilson just filed a new law, which is a new bill. I'm sorry. That is the Haitian Refugee Immigration Fairness Act. And what it is that this is to provide all of the Haitians who are TPS recipients, who've been in this country since June of 2024, a path to legal residency and eventually a path to citizenship for those who have respected the law, for those who have been working hard raising their families and paying taxes. So that's an incentive for them. So I believe that it's been, they have some sponsors as well, and now it's going to go through the process. And I really hope that works to like that. All these 300,000 Haitians and Syrians and so on would have to go back home. They could stay here and continue the great work that they're doing and so on.
Since you mentioned about back home, meaning in Haiti, I assume.
In Haiti.
So let's talk about what's going on in Haiti and what it means to the people that live there.
Haiti right now has been just taken over by gangs. And there are so many gang members, and they have the right ammunition, the right rifle, the right, how do they get here? Well, from the U.S. Somebody, and there is a law that prevents the certain arms and so on to go to Haiti. So how do they go to Haiti? Nobody knows, but they get to Haiti, and only the gang members have access to those. Even the police don't have access to these. So that's why that is so difficult to control these gang members, because they have all the tools that they need to affect people. I left Haiti 10 years ago, and I never went back. My sister was kidnapped last year. She was here visiting us, and then she went back with her husband. They're leaving to go out to dinner, and then they came and then kidnapped her. That same night. And because my sister is a very, very special person, as the gang members were taking her, and because she talked to the guy just like they were normal kids and so on, And then the guy said, "Do you know who gave you away? Your security guard." Because they pay the security guard, to tell them when, and then that's all you know.
I'm glad you brought that up, because the president of Haiti a couple of years ago was assassinated. There's a whole team that went in. Some of them either were found guilty or pled guilty. That was a terrible thing that happened. And it really says, when it's like that, and along with all the gangs and everything, how out of control it is. Can and will the United States try to do something to make that better? Are they able to? And does the government want to do that?
They are trying. And that's why it is important. I know the district is diverse, but to have a Haitian American in Congress that would be there at the table, that can help make influence decision on Haiti. That's a huge plus for Haiti, because a stable Haiti is good for the U.S. as well, and good for the people in the district as well. So I don't want people to translate it into, because I represent the entire district, but that's an extra advantage, I would say, to have somebody who understands the culture, who understands what's happening in Haiti, who raised up in Haiti until I was 17, and we came here. So to me, I think this is so key to understand what's happening in Haiti, so it can help like that. The people don't have to come here. They would rather stay in Haiti if they had the security, if they have the opportunity to raise their family. They would rather stay in Haiti. So we need to have Haiti stable, so like that we have investment in Haiti, creating jobs for the people to stay in Haiti. And Haiti used to, beautiful beaches, beautiful mountains. I mean, the food, art. I mean, that's a very special country. It used to be extremely wealthy, at the time of France. But now things have changed because of the debt that we had to pay for the independence.
We used to have a newspaper. They would come from Haiti, and we would print it here for many years. And we had a great time because it really got some sort of connections, with that. So you came here when you were 17. You came was your sister here then?
Yes, I came with the family.
And when you came here, did you know then, I'm going to make this and I'm going to make it big?
Yes.
Right.
Because I had that strong drive to succeed because of what my classmates used to tell me, that I'll never become anything. So I took that pain and make it into fuel. And I said, I will become somebody, and so that's what it made me become the person I am today.
So I used to run marathons. My first one, there was the husband of somebody that worked here. She tells me what the husband said. If he does it, it's going to be 60-minute miles. Do you know that the whole way I ran, that's all I was thinking? And when I got done, a year and a half after he said that, I said, go tell your husband it was 11 minutes a mile. Go tell him. All right? And that was the thing that pushed. And so often we need to find that thing that's motivating each of us. And everybody's got a different reason. And so in your case, it was strong enough to do that. And tell us, before you came here, what kind of student were you?
I was, I remember my last class in Haiti, I was second out of a class of maybe 40. So because I knew I was going to come to the U.S., I always been an average student, maybe 10, 15 years. But because I knew I was going to the U.S., I worked even harder, and in my when I received my notes, I said, wow, I came second in the class, So
when did you, in your heart of hearts, know? How old were you? Were you 2, 3, 4, 5, 10? When did you go, I have something special, I need to do something with it?
No, I'm not. I'm just a regular guy with a lot of ambition, and I care about people. My parents raised me well, and always tell me to respect people, help as many people as I can, and that's what I've been doing.
Tell us about your parents, because I want people that are watching this to understand where you came from.
My mother was an educator, a school teacher, and she was a history teacher. So she always told me the importance of education, and told me that your brain has 4 billion cells, and there's so much capacity for knowledge that you can take all the knowledge from the Library of Congress and put in your brain. You still have more room to learn. So I always remember that. So just because you have 1 degree doesn't mean that that's what you can get. If you can continue to learn more, keep learning, read. So this is my advice to a lot of the young people out there. Please read. The knowledge is so important for you to advance. That's good.
One of the things we've recognized with all these AI programs that are out there, and I'm working on a project now, and I tell Claude or Gemini or Chat, ask me questions, ask me tough questions, and ask them, all right? And be brutally honest. And it's been the best education. I've been working on a project since February. It's not unusual for me to come in at 4 o'clock in the morning and work, and all weekend. And it's questions. Ask me these tough questions. And after a while, it understands how to ask you questions. And one of the things that the other day said, tell me why you're not going to put this in. I said, I'm not going to tell you. Then you're not going to have the story. It tells me. You need to say why. I said, I'm not going to tell you. Then you need to say in the story, I'm not going to tell you. Right? Because it's not mine to tell. And I've learned that when you can have somebody on the other side, in this case, it's computers, that we learn a lot. One of them said the other day, I said, this is not going to go in the book that I'm working on. It tells the other agents, Michael told me privately. And I went, oh my God. All right. And they said, Michael, do you want to say it in here? No. Then tell us that you're not going to. And if there's somebody out there, they can educate themselves. You can go on to some of these programs, and you can learn, and you could be 30, 40, 50, 60. I'm up in there, right? And to watch that. So those kids that are watching, they don't have to be in a classroom. They just need to get somehow to become educated. And since I brought up about AI, what does this mean to you and to your constituents as far as how fast this process is going?
Well, it's going, but unfortunately, not too many people have access to AI, or maybe they're still going through it, to get a good, solid understanding of how it works. But AI, there are so many of them now happening, and I think that this is to the future. And I'm afraid that a lot of people are going to be losing their job. In fact, in the healthcare business, radiologists probably going to be the first one to go because they take the film, read it, and then and they charge you, they bill you. But now, if you could put the film into AI, they tell you exactly what it is. So we don't need to have the radiologist anymore. Of course, we're going to need somebody to sign whatever the AI says because you need the medical expertise license to confirm it. But the actual reading of the X-rays or the CAT scan, the MRIs can be done by AI. So it's going to bring so many changes.
So how do we get the kids that don't have a bunch of money, but we want to prepare them for the future? How do we get them involved? And Wayne Gretzky said, don't go where the puck is, go where it's going. So how do we get them to be able to look down the road 5 and 10 years so that they can make a living and take care of themselves and their family?
First of all, I believe that a college degree is good, but it's not. They should seek more. And I think that there are other opportunities where it's the college degree must be tied into some type of job training for like infrastructure, healthcare, technology, aviation. Green industry. So those are high-paying jobs, and I think that you don't just get a college degree just to put it in the wall, say I have a college degree, but make sure that you do something with it. Get some job training into these high-paying fields so you can feed your family.
Yes, we've interviewed several top people in the local colleges, and they tell me they're changing their curriculum a lot because they can't convince the kids to spend $150,000, in some cases $80,000 a year, because we're going to train you and you're going to be able to get a job. One of the local ones said, the top person said, we are glad we're associated with the hospital. And I understood the depth of that, what they were really saying. And all the schools were the same, which is how do we prepare these kids? And for the ones that are afraid to do it, don't be afraid. Just jump right in, make whatever mistakes you want. You just got to get on and do that. We started, by the way, bringing in speakers in our office here to teach AI. And so now we're breaking into categories. Here's the first step. We're going to teach you how to do Claude and Gemini. And so we've got local leaders in the arena to share it with our people. That is, I say our people that subscribe to our newsletters. I see that makes a difference because I see when they leave here how happy they are that somebody went out and reached for them.
This is so great. This is very, 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 very good. The young kids are very talented and they have ambition, but they need opportunity. Yes. They need a fair chance to succeed. So,
and how do we get more people to understand what's happening in Washington, and what do the Democrats need to do so they can have a stronger voice? And tell us about the future leaders in the Democratic Party.
First of all, let me say that one of the major issues affecting the district this is healthcare. And being a physician, I understand that very, very, very well. When somebody doesn't have any, insurance, and what they do is that they don't come to the doctors. They're not taking their medications, and if they get sick enough, they go to the emergency room, and then the price goes up. So, what do we need to do to correct that? First of all, I think that as soon as I get in Congress, we need to restore the healthcare subsidies that expired in December 2025. Those subsidies, particularly for the Obamacare, basically, roughly, because they actually created that, allow the people to pay a certain premium for the insurance. So instead of paying $500 and with the subsidies, they're paying $100. But now, since they removed the subsidies now, the price went up tremendously. A lot of people are dropping their insurance.
So they drop the insurance, and then they get sick. And then when they get really sick, they go to the ER. And sometimes, all right, it's too late, or it gets really pricey and dicey to be able to take care of people. That would be a normal thing that would happen if you don't have the money and you don't have somebody holding your hand and say, listen, you're poor, but you know what? We can help you do this, all right?
There's something else that also I'm suggesting. This is to bring Medicare at the age of 55. So people from the age of 55 to 64 can have access to Medicare, and they don't have to wait until 65 to get Medicare. So that will be tremendous because that will help preventive care more sooner. You can catch chronic diseases, hypertension, diabetes, cancer much earlier. That will decrease hospital costs, and then the premium for people who want to join Medicare at the time should be much lower because they are paying for it anyway. So South Floridians should not have to wait till 65 to get Medicare. So that would be a win-win for everybody.
There was a young man that used to work for us, and he was actually a little bit older, and he had a little tooth problem. I sent him to the dentist. The dentist says, I don't like what I'm seeing. He said, okay. So we finally got him to the next doctor. Then he got scared, so he stayed away. No support from the family. Finally, he's hurting a lot. We get him to the next doctor. Then there was an argument between whatever insurance he had. Long story short, 2 years later, they took out his jaw. And he's in the nursing home rehab, and he says, I got to get out of here. Had a heart attack and died. Because we couldn't get between him being scared, not having the money, not having the insurance, no support from the family, uneducated and afraid. And that was a dear friend of ours. And I watched him. We did everything we possibly could, but there wasn't somebody helping him. All right, that's us, but no, somebody to take him to the doctor, make sure he goes back. And I know that must be happening all over the world. All right, and specifically here. So how do we get people that need to be in the healthcare system for getting care? How do we educate them enough for their families to say, listen, when you see this problem, you need to take them to the doctor. And when they say we don't have the money, what happens then?
Yeah, this is why we need. And unfortunately, the state of Florida did not expand Medicaid, so that's why it's even more important to get a Medicare at an early age at 55, because like that, it's good for small business. Small business who actually, if they have older individuals, that they will actually have to pay more money. If they have Medicare, then they have to pay lower. And also a lot of people are holding on to the job, during that time, because if they stop working, they lose their insurance. So they hold on to the job, even though they want to retire or they want to open up their own business, But by having the Medicare at 55, they can be free, they can leave, they can, retire and then open up their own businesses.
I look at the folks that are on TPS, wherever they're from, and they're thinking, okay, I may not be here. Maybe I'm going to get picked up next week and sent back. Healthcare is probably low on that spectrum right now. It's like, what about my family? What am I going to do? So how can we get these people to feel more comfortable? Is there such a thing that listen, just got to be careful? And I don't know how you keep working. It's baffling to see that as the United States that we are doing this. It's beyond my scope to understand what we stand for. And I have friends that are Mexican all the time. And we had somebody that was in Maine who was shot the other day. And then another up north, a woman was shot, all right? And I'm thinking, she tried to get away. Where's she going? Where's she going? She's not going to go anywhere. It's that flight syndrome to get away. So it must be tough for people in the United States that are worried about being deported.
And this is so true because, interestingly, if you are illegal and you're being deported, you understand that, particularly if you have committed some crime. Yes. But sometimes they're residents, sometimes even U.S. citizens. I have my family yesterday came from the Cayman Island, and I have my son, his girlfriend, my wife, and then one of our coworker and my daughter. When they come to the airport, and then you're a citizen, by the way. The ICE was there. He said, "You follow us." So I have my son and his girlfriend and one of our employees, U.S. citizen. They walk across the custom area, and then because they said that the bag need to be checked properly because there's something and so on, And then they went on, talked to him and so on. They didn't even check the bag. And after that, I said, "Okay, you guys can go." But when you have 14 agents with loaded, with guns and everything else and so on, and then you didn't do anything, so this kind of intimidation for somebody who's just coming from vacation after the last vacation, that's not the way to receive somebody from home, and you're a citizen. So immigration enforcement must be fair and humane. You must control your borders, absolutely. But there's a humane way to do this.
Let's talk about this thing called gun control. I don't know what it means anymore. And is there something realistic that we can do about all the murders that take place? The gang shootings, the school shootings. And you're a doc, so you understand it. The trauma that must be on these kids that are in the building and there's gunshots going around, and the trauma that is there, I don't know forever, but for decades, right? And the families that are wondering, I'm going to drop Johnny off at the school, a safe place, and all of a sudden it's not so safe. What are we going to do about this?
First of all, I believe gun violence is like a public health issue, and we should treat it as that. Is there a need for assault weapons? Do you see what I'm saying? If you want to get a gun for your protection at home, yeah, do that. But assault weapons, and this is what's causing most of the damage and so on. I also believe that you need some federal program to kind of education program, to teach people gun safety and also enforcement against illegal gun training, because a lot of the kids shooting out there, their guns, they're illegal. So making sure that, they have a strong enforcement for that as well. And making sure that they have a program that will have the police work hand-to-hand with these young people, like that they build the trust, that the kids can come and talk to them, ask them questions, instead of say, well, these cops, they are the enemies, And yes, there's some cops out there who are not the way, they're supposed to be. But you have some great police officers out there, really care about the community.
So a couple of years ago, maybe more, Miami-Dade County built a mental health facility, and it's sat empty for at least a year, probably 2 years. It was a great debate over that. And Judge Leifman fought for that. Why did it take so long? Yes, Doc. Why did it take so long to open this so that people can have more access to mental health care?
Finally, it succeeded, by the way.
Yes.
And I'm very proud of him, for this to happen. Politics, different way of thinking for different people, and all and what he wanted to do is fair, mental health, everybody, if you have the right mental health treatments or counseling, that could save somebody's life.
Yes.
So what he's doing right now, but finally I think he's done, and now we'll be able to save a lot of young kids this program. And so
let's talk a little bit about autism. So a couple of years ago, I would hear figure 1 out of 35 kids. Well, we have an autism show here every week, and that actually came from somebody whose father happened to be an advertiser with us. He said, my son just graduated from Eckerd's, and he's autistic, and you have an internship for him. And I really didn't know too much about it. I said, he's not going to start screaming, is he? And he says, no. And meanwhile, I'm going, that was sort of silly. Just graduated from school. And he said, let me show you some of the work that he has done. He shows me his phone. And I said to myself, Michael, don't look at that. You cannot judge somebody by this 5 seconds you're going to look there. Here's his dad fighting for his son. And I said, okay, Doc, you're on. Okay, 4 hours a day, 3 days. Well, at the end of the first day, we were offering him a job. He was here for 3 years. All right, and he's moved on in this arena. And to watch him grow, all right, forget my relationship with him because, boss, he's like 20-something. But I watched him grow here. he grew a lot. We grew a lot more, and with this understanding. And because of him, we have this show about autism. So we're connected to families that have autism, and we see these volunteers that are doing this. What can Congress do so that there's more awareness and more money to treat these kids and the families?
You need a congressman who's a physician, no, but who understand the importance of this and fight to get some funding for this. I think this is, if the kids have proper treatment, I think that they can get better. And in fact, I don't know if you know, but, sometimes they have like stem cells treatment, that help kids with autism, but the FDA is very, very conservative, if I may say. They need proper research to document the fact that it does happen. But we know that kids, we have autism, and stem cells help some. And stem cells help a lot of individuals with a lot of conditions. So you need to have somebody who understands that, can fight for this funding to come in to help these kids.
So Miami-Dade County has a lot of mobility issues, right? We used to call it traffic. I don't think we call it traffic anymore. It's just how are we going to get around? So how is the federal government going to be able to help us down here as well as all the other states and all the other counties? Realistically, what's in tap for us here as far as moving people around Miami-Dade County?
Yeah, it is a complete mass traffic and things like that. Obviously, if we have more effective public transportation, Bright Line, for example, I see that they're making some progress in terms of making the residents leaving from West Palm Beach to Fort Lauderdale or Miami and get them a special rate like that. They can use it more often. But we need more public transportation, more way to move people quicker. Like that, they don't have to drive. Some countries, like Latin America, sometimes based on the plates number, today you cannot. These cars you cannot drive, blah, 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 blah. But that might be too, this is America, so it might be difficult to implement. But they can find a way, some system where they have more effective public transportation, more infrastructure build up so we can go ahead so the traffic can move quicker, because being stuck in traffic, it's not fun. Yeah. It is not fun.
Listen, the Everglades out here, not too far from here, that's under the control of the federal government, correct?
Yes.
So what are we going to do, number one, about all those pythons that are out there that are eating all the two-legged critters, all the four-legged critters? And I used to have a lot of animals. We could have all the snake hunts we want. It ain't going to make a difference, all right? It's fun, all right? But you would have to get too many. Realistically, what can we do to restore, number one, to make sure the water's there. Number two, to maintain some balance between prey and the little guys.
But every year they have these competitions.
Yes.
Where there's some people out there, and to catch these reptiles. And I think that sometimes they're huge. They bring some huge ones out there, but how many of them are left? Is that making a difference? I'm not sure. So
if you're elected, will you go out there one day? I'll go with you. I
would love to.
So my daughter, beautiful, right, tall blonde. Her husband's like, he is adventurous. She sends me a video. She's got the boots up to her knees, all right, out there hunting for pythons with her husband. And it's like, holy moly, Lauren, where are you?
Did they catch anything?
Yeah, they didn't. I guess she was probably okay that they didn't. But just there is that curiosity about that. And I used to go snake hunting. I used to import animals, so I really have an affinity. Probably some of mine got out of probably the fourth generation out there. So the election is right now. When's you're on this ballot, and when's the final day of election?
The primary is in August 18. That's the primary.
Right around the corner.
And then whoever wins the primary, then will go to the general election. But since it is a Democratic district, so most likely whoever wins in August will win in November as well.
We see some of those boundaries have been changed, and we see that reversing decades of being fair. And we see that, right out of wherever it comes from, and we see it, and we see that being undone. Some of that stuff is going to go on for generations, and the progress of people that need it are going to miss out. And tell us how important it is for people to be involved in politics and pay attention to not just their local, not just state, regional, but as well as national. Why is it so important?
First of all, it's your voice. You must speak up. If you don't speak up, you cannot make influence any kind of decisions happening in your community. Everybody needs safety streets, needs healthcare, needs the economy to be going well. When they go shopping, grocery shopping, or for gas and whatever, they should be able to afford things like that. So all of these things require for you to speak up and elect the right person to represent you that can help influence changes to improve the district and so on. So it's very important that everybody goes out and vote for whoever that they wish to vote. That's why it's important. Show like this, like that, they hear you. If they connect with you, they agree with you, they will vote for you.
Sometimes people think that one person can't make a difference. And I hear that all the time. We have some great leaders throughout the country that made huge differences just from a sports arena. Think about the Dan Marinos out there, the Wayne Gretzky's out there, Michael Jordans, LeBron James. My brother Grant would be very proud that I know that. See, Grant, I know a couple things. But let's talk about significant changes throughout the country because somebody decided to stand up. So tell us a couple that by themselves they were able to initiate that conversation until other people join them.
See, it is important. A lot of politicians, when they win for office, they come and make promises. But after they get elected, they do not go back to the people so they can share with them what's happening in Washington or address their concerns. So me, if I have the privilege of being elected, I make sure when I go back, I go to this cafecito, have some coffee with the community, and have like forums. I want to hear, because like you said, you cannot do it by yourself. You need the input of the community, to know what's going on, to see their concern, so it can be their voice in Washington and try to influence changes to address the concerns.
So we're going to wrap up in just a minute. Let's talk about the frequency of prostate cancer for men of color. I understand African American, it's higher and at a younger age. Tell us about Haitian Americans about prostate cancer.
It's exactly the same way as African American. My own father died of prostate cancer about 15, 20 years ago. And that's why I need to get my PSA check, every so often to make sure that my prostate.
And tell people how easy it is to get a test to see if they have prostate cancer.
Yes. First of all, there are two ways. You can do a rectal exam, and the rectal exam, when you go ahead and put your finger in there, the doctor, and he check the consistency of the prostate. If it's big and hard, most likely, you probably have some type of prostate cancer. But the other easy thing, this is to get a blood test. They call it PSA, and the PSA, if it's you have to be a certain number. If it's high, that means that's your prostate cancer, and that's why you need to be seen by urologist or biopsy.
So just then go get a simple blood test.
Yeah,
and do that. And at what age should most men start at least a once-a-year blood test like that?
When you get after 40. As you get older, the prostate gets a little bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you're going to start having some difficulty urinating. Let's say you might have to get up in the middle of the night, maybe 2 or 3 times, to urinate. That's because the prostate is enlarged and is interfering with your urethra. So that makes it a little more difficult and so on. So that's when you go see a urologist, and then you get evaluated, and they give you there's a pill that they give you, that helps shrink the prostate and make you pee.
So all those guys got to get up in the middle of the night 3 or 4 times. They need to get to a doctor and figure out what it is, whether it's benign or whether it's prostate cancer, and they can tell you right away whether or not. All right, you probably would have it by a simple blood test.
But do you know what would make a man go quicker to the doctor?
Yeah, his wife.
That is correct. Exactly. If the wife said, I don't know, man, it's not working right, and I will send him directly to the doctor. Say, Doc, I need some help because I'm not able to perform the same way I used to do it anymore.
And men don't want to have that conversation. I'm working on a book right now, and I've interviewed a lot of men with prostate cancer, and they're concerned about three things, which I'll just, all three of those things that are there. And even conversations they won't have with their close friends. They just won't have that conversation, so they do it alone. Right? And the book I'm working on is What Comes After Survival. And one of the things I recognize is that it's not the surgery. It's what happens after the surgery and the stuff that men go through quietly and typically by themselves. So hope that within 2 months to have that out. And I've been working on it diligently. And every time I say, I'm done, what that means is, no, you got more. And it's been an interesting journey. And it started with the conversation with men about prostate cancer. That's not what it's about, though. It's about all that stuff afterwards and how we get along with people and how there's this cone of silence with a lot of men because they don't want to talk about problems they're having in the bedroom or getting up in the middle of the night. So, first of all, thank you for taking care of people medically and as a lawyer and for serving the country. And my brother and I wish you a lot of good luck in your campaign. People can find you all over the internet. We don't need to tell them where to go. They can figure that out. Doctor, thank you so much for coming down. I appreciate it. And again, good luck with you.
It's my pleasure for such a great interview.
See you. Thank you. And let's look right over here. Which one? That one right there. Folks, thank you for joining us. And my brother Grant and I subscribe to the Disney Rule.